Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number 24 CCCR 0536. Case is style of State of Texas versus Kimberly Rue Pitts. Ms. Pitts, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Pitts, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Pitts, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Smith, Ms. Pitts, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Pitts?
I'm well. How about you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Pitts, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Bruce Smith. Attorney Smith, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. Mr. Smith, do you waive a record in Ms. Pitts' case?
We do, yeah.
Ms. Pitts, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Kimberly Rue Pitts, on or about December 4th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault bodily injury. Ms. Pitts, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Correct.
Ms. Pitts, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Ms. Pitts, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, K or P, that are on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Ms. Pitts, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Pitts, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Pitts, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Smith, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Pitts, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State.
Upper states one.
No,
Any,
Judge.
okay, no objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted, and the court will also take judicial notice of the court's file. Mr. Smith, you've advised and counseled Ms. Pitts. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Absolutely not.
And Ms. Pitts, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counsels you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Pitts, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, sir.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement for a plea guilty or no contest, the state has offered 1 year deferred probation with a $2,000 fine. The requirement to defendant take anger management courses and and 40 hours community service.
Okay. Let's see. What's the court cost in this case? This is Pitts,
277.
277. Ms. Pitts, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine, $2,000, plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee, $15 a month, and you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $290 a month. Will you be able to pay the $290 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, attend and complete an anger management class, and you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of this probation. Ms. Pitts, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a state's offer, is that correct? Mr. Hubel?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, the 1 year deferred.
Yes, 1 year deferred adjudicated, $2,000 fine, plus court costs, 40 hours community service, anger management. And you would also have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation,
Yes, sir.
okay? So the court is gonna follow this probation of this plea bargain agreement. Now, Ms. Pitts, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Okay? Now, you're going to, are we ready? Are y'all ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go and give a mistake.
Your Honor, this was something that was worked out upstairs and whatnot. The agreement was that when it was filed, we immediately dispose of it like we've done. So I know that every time something is filed, there's an arrest warrant. We never did. I talked to the deputy who had the warrant, and he said, "Well, this
let me
of the case."
Okay, let me ask you this here. Hold on a minute. Wait.
The deputy thought that would just eliminate the warrant.
Well, hold on a minute. I'm looking up. Let me look this up. This is the information. The information was filed on February 22nd. So is there warrant?
It's a warrant.
Okay, I think what's gonna happen is there's a warrant out, but because you dispose of the case today, the warrant is gonna go away. It has to go through the system. The system is gonna recognize that the case is disposed of, and so there's no need for a warrant to be issued. But in the meantime, you need to keep your the paperwork that they're going to give you, you need to keep that with you.
Yes, sir.
Because the process that I just mentioned, it may happen today, tomorrow, whatever. And so if you get stopped, you could show them the case was disposed of. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so hopefully the warrant will go away today, but it might not. It might take a
Well, the
day or two.
deputy said that he was gonna do, after we leave here, I'm gonna call him, he said he was gonna do what he could to try to get it.
Yeah, but I mean,
expedited, get it all-
Yeah, they're gonna get the paperwork started here. They're gonna get the paperwork started here.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Send that one back to you.
Uh-huh.
Send that one back to you.
So this,
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Right down here.
now did this originate as was it like a felony or something?
It
And they-
was a.
And then they
it was a
reduced
direct
it?
Grand jury case, and before it went to the grand jury, we reached this agreement.
Oh, okay. And so they, okay. Okay. Jefferson County Court at number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number 23 CCCR 2254. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jose Roberto Ramos. Mr. Ramos, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
So Ramos, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Ramos, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Ramos?
You know, how about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Ramos, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Todd Takash. However, standing in for attorney Takash is attorney Don Boudreaux. Does Mr. Boudreaux have your permission to stand in for attorney Takash?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Yes, sir.
You doing fine?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boudreaux, do you waive a record in Mr.
We
Ramos'
do.
case? You do? Okay, that's good. Now, Mr. Ramos, I have before me a document that is titled complaint. This is a complaint that was filed in the precinct number 4, Jefferson County, Texas. In this complaint / affidavit, it alleges that you, Jose Roberto Ramos, on or about May 19th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class C misdemeanor offense of speeding. Mr. Ramos, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Ramos, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
No contest, sir.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight
Yes, sir.
or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramos, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Ramos, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on page 2 of this same document, well, on the first page of this document, there's one box that's checked saying that this is a Class C appeal and the fine and the range of punishment is fine that does not exceed $500. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendants. I was looking at your signatures, they look different. Look like on one you signed your signature, on another one like it was printed. Is that correct?
I printed on one.
Yeah, it asks for your,
Where my address was and all.
yeah.
Yes, sir. I printed it there.
Okay, they just hand this back to him and you can erase his where he printed
Okay.
his name and the stylus acts as an eraser, just turn it backwards and just erase like you erasing a pencil with a pencil. Okay, and you could just sign your name. Okay. Now, Mr. Ramos, on this document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Ramos, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramos, before you signed and initial all of these documents that I just showed you,
Mhm.
did your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Boudreaux went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramos, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit 1 in evidence?
Yes, sir.
Any objections, Mr. Boudreaux? No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted, and the court will take judicial notice of the court's file. Mr. Boudreaux, you advised and counsel Mr. Ramos. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
And Mr. Ramos, your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramos, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest, the state has offered a $50 fine plus court costs.
What's the court cost in this case?
$277.
Okay, Mr. Ramos, the state is offering that you pay a fine of $50, and the state is also offering that you pay court costs in the amount of $277.
Yes, sir.
Your total amount of fine and court costs will be $327. Mr. Ramos, will you be able to pay the $327 today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ramos, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramos, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Ramos, the bailiff is going to take your fingerprints. They're gonna give you a judgment that you need to bring with you downstairs to the county clerk's office. You go to the counter, tell them that you're there to pay your fine and court costs. Once you pay the fine and court costs, they will give you a receipt. Once you get that receipt, you'll come back up to this courtroom and present it to the court coordinator. Will make a copy.
Sure.
All right,
Thank you.
all right. Please stand next to Mr. Boudreaux. And Mr. Ramos, once you finish doing everything, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Boudreaux, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Your Honor.
Hold on a minute. Okay. Now what were you saying?
What I asked the court to do, apparently, he went to work today. Apparently, there has been an on-the-job injury that resulted in death where he's working and he can't even call out, is what his sister just told me. She called in, she lives in Houston, she's a co-signer on the bond. I don't know why he's not in court. His bonding company went to go find him at his house and he wasn't at home, he was at work. Given the fact that we have an offer that I think is a very good offer in this case from Ms. Porter, I would respectfully request the court to give me 1 week to get him here so we can plead his case.
My only issue is how did the sister find out that there was a death on the job?
Well, that's what she told me. You want me, I'll put her on the phone.
I just.
Yeah, I mean, because if she communicated with him, he
Right.
could have communicated, it's just a
Yeah,
simple
that's what she,
phone call.
yeah.
So I
I
mean,
don't know. You would like for me to get her on the phone?
and not, I mean, I don't think that's gonna get us, we just need him to make an appearance either by phone, Zoom, or in
Right, if not,
person.
I will tell you this, I'm not opposed to keeping my offer open, but I'm gonna ask for bond forfeiture. So he can't get in trouble between now and next week. We can do a quick reset if you can't get him on the phone. But if his sister got in contact with him, I don't see why he couldn't at least.
Yeah, I'm confused with that too.
That doesn't make sense. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what she was told.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I can't say whether or not she's made direct contact with them. I don't know how she found that out. That's what she told me. I just spoke to her.
yeah.
So if we can do one quick reset for 1 week to do.
Well,
the
I don't, I mean, at this point, we'll just make the call. I mean, if he calls in, this app today, well, I mean, we can, if the state is not opposed to, the state may recall a bond forfeiture, but he needs to make contact with the court.
Okay, I'll let her.
Yeah, I don't
know.
think yeah,
Okay, thank you.
okay.
You want to give me go ahead and do the reset or?
Well, it's not being reset right now. I mean, we're gonna move for the state. We can call the case, we'll move for bond forfeiture. What I'm saying is, if bond is forfeited, if he makes contact today, we can recall the bond forfeiture.
Okay, thank you. I'll let him know, Your Honor.
Yeah, but, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
Because I think his bondsman
Yeah, I'll
was
call-
responsible to give him notice. Right.
I do a lot with Mr. Hall over in Orange County.
Yeah,
I know him well.
yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number M327274, case is filed with State of Texas versus Maculus Laney Toller. Maculus Laney Toller was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m., the court's able to call the name of Maculus Laney Toller at the courthouse door. Maculus Toller did not answer. And Maculus Toller has not appeared in court since the court is in session. His attorney did appear. The court had gave his attorney an opportunity to make a statement on the record. The time now, and also Mr. Maculus Toller Laney could have appeared in person, by Zoom, or by telephone. The time now is 11:11 a.m. on today's date of March 1st of 2024. Maculus Laney Toller has not appeared in person, by telephone, or by Zoom. Well, Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Maculus Toller at the courthouse door? Maculus Toller's name was just called again at the courthouse door. Maculus Toller did not answer. Reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Toller an opportunity to appear in court. State, do you have a motion? That motion will be granted. Maculus Toller's bond will be forfeited and warrant should be issued for his arrest in clause number M327274. And this will conclude the call and the close announcement docket on March 1st, 2024 in the County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence L. Holmes presiding. Prosecutors, you're excused. Everyone